Do you have to pay a year up front when you decide to relocate to Africa? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me as I've been going through this 9-year expat journey. I am now on my third continent, fourth country that I have been living in. And I wanted to just really share some information because I keep hearing people saying over and over again, one of the downsides of living in Africa, you have to pay a year up front. And so let's go ahead and discuss that in today's video. So short answer to this question is no. Now, however, it does depend on what country you go to. Now I've met people that lived in Nigeria, and they have said in Nigeria, you do have to pay a year up front sometimes, or 6 months. But this is the kicker to that. The Naira, the currency is so deflated. Even if you're paying a year up front, you may be paying 300 or 400 US dollars. So it's not like you're paying thousands of dollars up front. But here I want to speak specifically of the SADC. This is the southern region of Africa. Now, one of the things you must understand, Africa is a huge continent and it is broken up into regions. You got Western, Central, Eastern, and the southern region of Africa. Each region has different things that goes along with it. So now, because I am settled in the southern region, that is why I want to just really focus on this region. Now, I've lived in South Africa. I've had a short time stay in Botswana, but I did look for properties there. I'm actually still looking for properties in Botswana to actually possibly buy an apartment and use for an Airbnb. And I'm now in Lusaka, Zambia. Namibia, I've talked to people who have lived there and who are from there. And they have told me also, you do not have to pay a year up front. You just usually pay 2 months, which is the first and last month's rent, and maybe a security deposit. So with South Africa, I paid 1 month's rent, and I paid first month's rent and a security deposit. That is all you need to pay in South Africa. Here in Zambia, sometimes you do need to pay 3 months up front. That is the first 2 months of rent, and then you're paying a security deposit with that. However, you can negotiate that, and be wary of using agents in Lusaka. And this only speaks of Lusaka. Don't go be paying for viewing fees. Those things are illegal, and they're not supposed to be doing that. And usually if an agent is asking you for a viewing fee, they're probably showing you a piece of crap. And so just be mindful of that. Also with South Africa, let's go back there real quick. South Africa has great real estate laws. Zambia have great real estate laws, meaning as tenants, you have legal rights. And I'm going to share with you a story that I had experienced here in Lusaka when I first got here, so that you can learn from my mistake. You have rights in this SADC region. This is one of the reasons why I keep hyping up this region and telling people, bypass Ghana, bypass Kenya, come here. Come to an area where legally you're not going to have as many problems, because if somebody does something wrong, they will be going to jail. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And so because of that, it gives you the security. I was watching a person I follow on YouTube, Tailor Made Dreams, and he was talking about this horror story that he had from dealing with Thailand, where he ended up paying 6 months up front. Turns out the person that he paid the money to, they not even the real owners of the property. They were subleasing it or something. And essentially they just ran off with the money, didn't pay the light bill, didn't pay the water bill. And now the owners are wanting to kick him out because they're like, hey, I'm not getting paid here. And those are the things that you don't want to be dealing with as an expat or someone who's even as a digital nomad. You don't want to get yourself spending long-term money on something and then you end up getting ripped off. And Thailand is one of those countries, if you're not a Thai national, you don't have rights there. Yes, you can go to lawyers. There may be some things you can do to recover a little bit of money, but you don't have rights. And this is what makes Africa, this southern region, the best region to relocate to in the world. You have rights here. I have an NRC, that's a national registration card here. Just because my number says 3 instead of 1, I still have rights here. I have tenant rights here. Some of the things I like about here, like your landlord cannot just come into your house. They're not able to just come in without your notice. They're not able to just say, oh, today I want to repair this. They have to give you at least a 3-day notice to be able to do things. You have to agree with things. Like with the place that I was staying in before, you know, they thought I was ignorant and basing on something and they were hoping for some of the ignorance because me being new to the country, not knowing things and thinking I didn't know people here, that they could just do whatever they wanted. Now, they did end up stealing my security deposit, which was probably about 170 US dollars when it came down to it. But what they ended up doing was they rushed to finish the house. And so I paid for the place before I even came here. And the place wasn't finished yet. So they were supposed to use that money to actually finish up the place. One of the things they do here, and this is what I want to be mindful of, I want you to be mindful of, if there's a place that is unfinished and they're saying, oh, if you just pay this amount, then we'll just use that to finish it and you don't have to pay the first 2 months rent, stay away from it. They're not going to use due diligence and really take their time to actually fix that place correctly. They're going to do very cheap labor, very cheap parts, and they're going to just take that money and go on vacation. That's what the people did with me. They took their butts to South Africa, went on vacation, got broke, and then came back and had issues. And so for me, with that place, I had a problem with the borehole. The generator was messing up. The roof was leaking. All of these things that should have been taken care of, mind you, I paid 2 months before I even came to the country. And so that's why I'm telling you, be mindful of those things. Like, those are the little issues you're going to run into here. The only reason I didn't even fight the issue with the security deposit was I knew there was so much shit wrong with the house for them being negligent that they were going to spend probably 3 to 5 times more money fixing the house up. And also, I believe in karma. Like, I'm not going to fight you I'm not going to lose my attitude too much over 170 bucks. I can make that back very easily. But what I will do is let karma bite you in the ass. And I guarantee once they have like a family there, someone with kids, they're going to destroy that house. And when they destroy it, guess what? They're the ones who got to fix it. I don't care. And so that's one of the other beautiful things about being in this SADC region about the SADC region is you don't have to care too much. As long as someone ain't trying to do physical harm to you, they ain't just outright stealing from you. Like if someone, let's say if I had paid 6 months up front and they were trying to not give me my money back, I would have just took them to court. I would have took them straight to court. I would have had my proof that I paid everything. And then they would have probably either had to pay the money or they would have been going to jail that day. That's the other thing you got to remember about this area, especially within Zambia. As soon as that court case comes to a closure, if they say that person is guilty, they're going to jail right there that day. They are not going back home. So these are the things about the SADC region that you need to look into if you want to become an expat, if you want to relocate. Yes, Thailand may be beautiful. Yes, Thailand may be cheap in some areas, but you do get ripped off there. You are not a Thai citizen. These countries like those countries like Thailand, Vietnam and stuff, they're not in your favor. And to be honest with you, most of them don't want you there anyway. They just want to take your money. At least here in Africa, in the southern region, they embrace us. People will look out for you. People tell you like, no, you're overpaying for that. Like you should be paying around this or that. People will go out of their way to help you. They'll be making calls right next to you to see like, hey, if they can find someone who knows someone that has a good deal on a place. So look into this southern region of Africa if you're really thinking about relocating. If you have any other questions, just shoot me a comment down below, or you can contact me at my email. And most importantly, just remember this: success is simple once you know how.